the beer ambassador, Mikhail Woodward here, and I am at Homebrew Con 2018. You see that nice new roar hat? It's really nice to be here at any time, but one thing that I've been able to do is coming as a member. In the first year I was media, but I didn't come as media, and I actually met this lovely lady named Erin who helped me to guide me, and then she said, well, you could talk to my husband. And I talked to this lovely guy, just a beautiful person named Gary. And I had no idea at the time that Gary was the president of the American Homebrewers Association. So I want to say welcome to, the show, Beer Ambassadors, Gary Glass. And I want to just say that we only see each other like once a year, but I do reach out a couple times a year. But I know you're a rock star in the community and everybody loves you because you're a really great guy. But I want to say, again, I told you this before, but I'm going to say it on air, that I really thank you for you and your wife, you and Erin's friendship, and just embracing me in the homebrewing community and just being a friend to me. So thank you, but I think that goes to a lot to say, and you're president, so I'm going to just go on that when you come to Homebrew Con, you have like 3,000 friends.
Yeah. Everybody has 3,000 friends when you're at Homebrew Con.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the beauty of this event, and it's the beauty of the homebrewing community. Is there's just so many welcoming people. If you want to talk about beer, anyone in this room is going to be happy to talk to you.
Yeah. It's just the joy of beer. Like, we geek out on talking about beer and the malting and the process and the hops and the equipment and the sack rest and the fermentation time, and it's a primary or secondary, whatever. All that stuff is a beautiful conversation.
Exactly. Yeah. It's really all about the beer, and so anybody who's interested in beer and talking about beer is going to fit right in here.
Yeah.
That's the common denominator. It's beer, and that's all that matters.
And talking about beer, because we're not in the studio, and if you can watch this on YouTube, or you're already watching on YouTube, but if you're listening on air, then you can go to YouTube and watch the interview with Gary Glass from the American Homebrewers Association, or AHA for short. But we can drink because we're not in the studio. So I'm actually drinking something from the Heart of the Valley Homebrew Club here in Oregon. They're from Corvallis, Oregon, and I have like this basically a wild fermentation sour with strawberries, and I get a strawberry aroma. What are you drinking, Gary? Because it looks strange.
I am drinking an IPA, as you can see.
That does not look like an IPA. It looks like sanitation cleaning fluid. It's like bluish, grayish.
Right. So this is a Citra IPA that was run through a Randall with, see if I can get this right, butterfly pea flower tea.
So it's a tea. It's not pea. It's not pea from a butterfly.
It's a tea. It's a pea flower.
A pea flower, a butterfly pea flower. That is a tea.
Yeah, and so it gives it the purple or the blue.
It's kind of
hue,
a bluish.
And it lends a fruity character to the beer as well. It's actually quite pleasant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So it smells good and tastes good?
Yeah.
So are you still surprised that this year, at this juncture and all the years you've been doing this, which we'll get into, at beers like that one?
I kind of expect to find something that I would never have thought of here every year. If I don't, I'm disappointed, because that's really what it's about. Is like that ability to experiment and try out new things and introduce people to concepts that they would never think of on their own. So when you got 3,000 people all doing that kind of experimentation, you come up with great things, and that's why the homebrewing community in this country is so important to the growth of beer culture in this country. We have 6,000 plus breweries. The vast majority of those were started by homebrewers. We have a more diverse selection of beers in this country than anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
The rest of the world recognizes that, and they're looking at us, but that's because we have homebrewers who are making beer with
pushing the boundaries
with butterfly pea flowers.
I remember 10 years ago I'm making a beer and I'm putting all kinds of fruit and nuts and stuff in my beer, And what would happen is people were like, "You're crazy," and that's not traditional. And I'm like, "No, it's not." In the what we've expected in the last 100 years, but if you go back thousands of years, it's really traditional, right? I mean, people just put it in whatever they have locally, and but anyways, that's like the norm now. I mean, people want to put everything in the beer, right?
Yeah. But you don't have to if you don't want to.
No, you don't have to. You still need a good base.
If you just want to stick to tradition, you can do that.
Yep. And there's some really good traditional beers.
Exactly, and make fantastic beers. But if you want to do something totally unique that nobody's ever done, you can do that too.
And I think that from what I've heard in some of the talks, like the Adam beer was talking, they were talking about that today, which has gone back a ways, but now it was made again by Flying Dog, and I mean I want to say it was a 12 or 13% beer, but it's really good. And that's a beer that they're talking about. Listen, once you make this, you shouldn't really taste it before a year, and you could go up to 5 years. But they're saying 1 to 3 years to aging that, to cellaring it really, before you really enjoy that beer. But that people have been able to take something that was done. I don't know. They were talking about 8 and even more than 10 years ago when this was revisited as an ancient beer style, and now they're doing modern twist and takes on it.
Yeah.
So we're always kind of pushing the limit and learning, and it's like I just think it's a combination of old and new, to say that, ancient and modern. Right?
Yeah. And actually, here in Portland, there's a brewery that has been making an Adam beer for more than 20 years. The Hair of the Dog.
Yeah. Oh, I said Flying Dog. I meant to say Hair of the Dog. That's what it tastes today.
Yeah.
It was I'm spacing their names, but the guys from the Maltose Falcons were doing the presentation. Yes, I stand corrected. Hair of the Dog, really good beer.
Yeah. They're making really fantastic beer, and they have been for quite a while. Very small operation, I mean, and they're kind of a cornerstone of the homebrewing community here in Portland. They also do probably their most famous beer is called Fred, named after Fred Eckhart.
Yep.
There's the guy who wrote the first American treatise on homebrewing, at least the first modern American book on homebrewing. I mean, definitely got.
They were referencing him in the Adam beer today.
I'm sure,
because I think he was the first one to do an Adam beer.
I don't doubt
it.
He was
way back hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, he was a beer journalist, beer historian, and all around great guy. And we all owe Fred a giant debt of gratitude for what he did to pave the way for Charlie Papazian and the American Homebrewers Association.
Well, you mentioned Charlie now, so for those who don't know, we are in Portland, Oregon, which is also known as Beervana. And I literally walked to 5 different breweries within a couple of blocks the other day. I don't know how many breweries are here. You might know the number.
There's over 70 breweries in the city.
Greater Portland
within the city limits. It's the highest concentration of breweries in any, I believe, in any city.
Yeah, it's really kind of beer heaven. That's why they call it Beervana, which I didn't know. So I know that's a theme of this year. But you mentioned Charlie Papazian. Charlie Papazian was the homebrewer who started the American Homebrewers Association, and now it's 40 years. We're celebrating 40 years, and he's retiring this year. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I mean, back in 1978, when he and his friend Charlie Mattson founded the AHA, there was...
Was it just a homebrew club? There's a couple guys,
It wasn't so much a homebrew club, but he had been teaching classes in Boulder, Colorado, teaching homebrewing classes, and they were seeing that there was kind of a movement of homebrewers creating a community of homebrewers in Boulder, and Charlie thought, well, this should be something that's not just limited to the local area. And so, I mean, one of the first things he did was he went down to the local library and found every phone book in the country and looked up every single homebrew shop in the country.
Wow.
Reached out to them.
That was like the hard, big, thick book at that time.
Right.
You had to really do a lot of research.
Yeah. For your younger listeners, they probably don't know what a phone book is, but
And there was no cell phone. You had to go dial. It was either a dial or you might have had a push button, but it's probably a dial.
It would have been a dial. Yeah.
So,
no internet, obviously. But he was reaching out to these homebrew supply shops saying, "Hey, I'm starting this association," and published Symergy magazine, started putting it out through those retailers, and got the word out, and kind of slowly built up. a national organization.
It's awesome. So, how long have you been president of the AHA?
My title is director.
Oh, sorry, my bad, director.
That's all right.
I have called you
president. Sounds good.
Yeah. Director.
I've been director of the AHA since 2006.
2006.
So 12 years.
So, I want to go into your history a little bit.
So official, and people seem to be ignoring it.
Yeah, so people are paying attention, but we're recording a show. So, if you are, basically, you had to be a home brewer, right? I mean, how did you, or you were just in business? I mean, how did you come to the position you're in?
Yeah, I started out homebrewing in 1993, so I've been doing it for 25 years. And I started with the AHA as an administrative assistant back in January of 2000. So it's been 18 years since I started with the AHA.
Okay. So you were an assistant.
Right. So Paul Gatza was the director of the AHA back then. And shortly thereafter, the AHA was part of a larger organization called the Association of Brewers, who's also created by Charlie Papazian to serve small and independent breweries. And at that time,
and that what became the Brewers Association, essentially.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So we ended up merging with another organization called the Brewers Association of America to become the Brewers Association.
Okay.
And right after that happened, that merger took place.
Which was when?
That was in 2005.
Okay. And then right after that.
So after that, I guess up till that point, we had kind of been. So I was working primarily on the American Homebrewers Association, but we were also doing work for the Institute for Brewing Studies, the professional division side of things. But both organizations were becoming too big to be able to have one person managing them both. So
essentially, there's a parent company and two sibling organizations underneath.
Yes, exactly. So then, after we merged with the Brewers Association of America, really needed more focus on both the AHA and the BA professional side. So we split the divisions. Paul took on management of the professional division, and I took on the management of the American Homebrewers Association.
So, but that doesn't tell me how you got into it.
So how I got into homebrewing?
How did you get into homebrewing, and how did that lead you? I really want to know how you got into homebrewing.
Yeah. Okay.
And I want to know how that brought you into the AHA to become an assistant to where you're the director now.
Okay. So I started with with homebrewing when I was in college. I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
California down
place.
there. Yeah.
And I started out studying aeronautical engineering, and I had a roommate who was a civil engineer, and he had a friend who brought over a bottle of homebrew, and I was already a big time into beer. What little selection of beer there was back in those days, but the concept of homebrewing had never even occurred to me.
Yeah.
And so when a friend of mine, I think he made like a blueberry wheat, a beer with fruit in it was something else. Like, wow, that's totally unique. Never heard of that. And the fact that he made it himself, within a week I had bought my first homebrew kit, and I was brewing and hooked instantly.
Were you doing extract?
Oh yeah. I mean, back in the early '90s, it was really rare for anybody to be doing all grain brewing.
Yes.
I was.
But it was more than a Mr. Beer. It was kind of just an extract.
Yeah, but I mean, not much to it. I mean, I had a bucket
were you doing it on the stove? Or in the garage?
I did it on the stove top. That first batch was just a can of hopped malt extract. Used a pot that was way too small, totally blue. You
had a boil over?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's some nasty
right
crystal
from the start. But even then, I knew, brewing by mixing water with syrup out of a can was not really brewing.
Yeah.
I mean, extract brewing is fine, but
that's a good start.
That hot malt extract kit, just doing it that way, I knew that there was more to it than that. So, that kit came with a copy of The Complete Joy of Homebrewing. And so I looked into that and okay, you can add specialty grains, you can add hops, you can do all these things to make unique beers, and it was absolutely fascinating to me, and so I just dove right in. And then I ended up, after I graduated from Cal Poly, I went to grad school at the University of Colorado. And as I was finishing my degree, I needed a job. And actually, my girlfriend at the time found the job for the AHA administrator position.
Nice.
And it's like, hey, you're a home brewer. You should apply for this American Homebrewers Association job. And I'm like, I am a home brewer, and yes, I should.
Wow.
So I did.
So you owe it to an old girlfriend, or is
I
that...
do. I owe it to an ex-girlfriend.
Wow.
For pointing me in the direction of this job, and I've been with it ever since.
Thank you, whoever you are. But so then you got in and you got the job, and here you are, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's so much in there I have to explore that you've opened up my mind to a can of worms, really. And I'm trying to think where to go first. But I have to ask this though. As the director of the AHA, and you're doing several events a year because you guys do Homebrew Con and you do GABF, and you're probably part of the CBC as well.
Yeah.
Do you have time to brew anymore?
I do. I don't brew as much as I would like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do travel a lot, so it is a challenge. But I am this close to finishing my basement, and I already have the 240 volt outlet for my electric brew system. Got a hood. I am ready to be brewing
and the nice
in my
thing,
basement, and
that's
I'm so
awesome.
pumped.
And you can ferment really nice down there too.
Yeah.
You have to control the
exactly.
environment.
Much more.
And you
control
have such a
temperature.
cool wife. I know she's on board with this because she works in the brewing community. So
yeah, sure. My wife has worked in the brewing industry longer than I've worked in the brewing industry. So
how did you guys meet? I don't know.
We actually met at the Brewers Association.
Okay.
So yeah, we used to work. Our desks were about 10 feet apart.
And you were flirting with her, and
yeah.
which I understand. She's really cute. She's really cool.
Yeah.
And then you
She's
guys started
amazing.
dating, and you got married, and now you have a beautiful daughter.
Yep. Daughter Maya, she's 8 years old.
Yeah, awesome. So, all right. So back to family's good. I just like backstory. You know what I'm saying? Because it's amazing to me that people don't realize that brewers are entrepreneurs. And even if you're just a home brewer, you're thinking outside the box, or you want to be independent. You want to make something yourself. There's this pride to making your own beer. Maybe you're making your own food like I do. I do my own pickles, and I like to cook and all that stuff. But there's something about your sensory perception in saying, I'm not getting exactly what I want, or I want to be able to create that, or what I'm dreaming about, and that's pretty much what it was. For me, I started homebrewing because I had these dreams about beers that no one was making, and I couldn't find them anywhere, even with the exotic things, and I was like, I want to put this in a beer. And it made me want to learn about brewing, and discovered the joy of homebrewing, which is a great book, by the way, and being able to go on, and then meeting these greats. So what's your thoughts in being at 40 years and the growth that we've had for the American Homebrewers Association, and Papazian, who started it and now he's retiring?
Well, he's stepping away from the Brewers Association, but I'm sure he is going to be very much involved in.
How can he stop?
Right, he's not going to stop being Charlie Papazian. Yeah. So he'll certainly be involved in the brewing world and homebrewing for as long as he can be. I know that. So I think the one thing that we will definitely miss his vision.
Yeah.
Because clearly the man is visionary.
And his daily presence.
Yeah. I think he brings something to the office that we work at, and we will certainly miss that. But he's kind of imbued his personality and his knowledge onto the staff that we have there. Our current president and CEO at the Brewers Association, he's been with the BA for 25 years, and we have staff people who've been there longer than he has. So there's a lot of institutional knowledge built in there, and I'm not too concerned about anything potentially falling apart with Charlie leaving. That's not at all a concern for me.
Sure.
But we'll miss him very much. Having that opportunity to spend the last 18 years with somebody like Charlie, who's just has just an incredible mind and just a fun person to be around. And just thinking what he's accomplished in his life.
For sure.
It's just been an amazing opportunity for me.
Well, and let's drink to that.
Yeah.
In Hebrew, Chai is 18, and they say L'chaim, to life, because of 18. So here we go. Let's drink to that one, my friend. Come on. So we were talking a little bit how the American Homebrewers Association, who puts on Homebrew Con, and I don't remember, is it 5 years now that you changed it to Homebrew Con, but essentially you're still keeping up. You're keeping true to the roots, but you're always growing and changing. And there's been a little bit of controversy where it used to be that the awards for the national competition were with a dinner, and now they're different. You'd only get a small amount, maybe a 1/4% or a third of the percentage of the people coming to that dinner, and not everybody could go to it. But now everybody can go to it, and I know people don't like change, and some people like it, but to me it's awesome because everybody can come and they're part of this presentation of the awards, and then there's an ending party, and then you can go out and party, and there's all kinds of breweries. We always go where there's breweries, right? So tell us a little bit about that, because I think that's the biggest change that's really happened in recent years.
Yeah, that happened a couple of years ago, or actually last year was when we stopped doing the banquet with the awards ceremony. The conference, back when we were talking about hundreds, maybe a few hundred attendees, it was very easy to do a banquet where everybody could be a part of it. And it was a lot easier to pull off. But now we've got 3,000 attendees. We're in a convention center. It makes it, there's just not really that ability to do something for that many people.
And you want to be true to the chef and what's going on,
right?
And the who's preparing or catering is not going to always stay true to that, right?
When you're in that convention center setting, it's really hard to maintain control over the menu and the quality of the meal, and you know frankly, like the expense is really really high when you're dealing with catering in a convention center setting. So it's just we were having to charge more than we wanted to for it, and we had a limited participation in the banquet. So not everybody who wanted to go to the awards ceremony could go, and we were then in a situation where only a small percentage of the people who attended Homebrew Con were actually going to this final event.
Sure.
And so for those people who weren't attending, like they would go to the last seminar, and then the conference was over. So we really wanted to have something where we could bring together all the people who were in the conference. And so last year we instituted what we call the knockout party.
Well, you have a welcome. Yeah. So now you have a knockout.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. A knockout, brewing term for end of the boil.
I think that's the best part.
Yeah.
Because it's a brewing term.
Right.
Knockout. Right.
Uh-huh.
So
we have to explain that to the hotel.
Yeah, but not everybody here even listens or understands that.
If
you're not brewing, or even some brewers.
Some boxing involved.
Yeah. So so you have knockout.
Right. So we do the award ceremony in more of a theater setting. That way, anybody who's attending who wants to be a part of the award ceremony can go, and then we have this party at the end where we take we have all the winners after the award ceremony, bring them up on stage so everybody gets to see them. They got their medals on. The attendees can talk to them about the beers that they won with. I mean, these are the winningest homebrewers in the world.
Yeah.
So that opportunity to have that interaction with the fellow homebrewers and get the recognition the medal winners deserve, and have a good time at the end of the conference is really what we were looking for.
I think it's awesome. So where do you think, what do you see for the future of the AHA and just the brewing community at large?
I think one of the things that we're seeing is like a few years back we were seeing really exponential growth in homebrewing, and that's not happening anymore. We knew that was going to happen, so things have leveled off a little bit. One of the things that we're looking at is really trying to focus on bringing in a wider audience to homebrewing. Our surveys show that the homebrewing is predominantly white and male.
And 25 to 36, probably. That's what I'm guessing.
Well, you know, it's actually a pretty wide range of age groups, and in fact, the fastest growing age group right now is people over the age of 60.
Really?
Yeah. We have
cool.
that's
something to look forward
a
to.
fast growing portion of our population.
Wow.
You know, it's people who are
Because they're retired and they have time to do stuff.
Exactly.
Right?
So that's one thing about the hobby is that. Homebrewing does take time, and so you know, as people are retiring, so you know, we are seeing a range of age demographics.
Yeah.
But we are missing out on as the population of the country becomes more and more diverse. We're not seeing that diversity translating into the homebrewing hobby. So,
Yeah.
You know, I think that's something for the AHA to work on in the future.
Okay.
You know, making sure that the hobby is accessible to a wider audience.
I got you. So, what's the latest beer you have going? Come on.
I've got a pale ale that's actually on tap at home.
What size is the new system in the basement going to be?
10 gallons.
10 gallons.
Yeah.
Is it? Can we talk about who you're getting it from, or?
I prefer not to.
Okay, let's not do that. Then it could be a plug. But anyways,
Yeah.
I'm just curious. All right. Well, I just want to say thank you again for just your commitment to the homebrewing community, and as well as to just your friendship and just leading the community going forward. I always have a good time here at Homebrew Con. And if you guys can make Homebrew Con next year, it's going to be in Providence, Rhode Island, which I hear is kind of like Portland's Beervana on the East Coast. And I'm just looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it makes with an incredible food culture there. They got really amazing restaurants, lots of great seafood there too. And it's an hour away from Boston, so it's a great New England experience there in Providence.
We're dropping the mic on that one because that's a good thing. So, if people want to get involved in homebrewing and they don't know where to go, or they want to get involved with the AHA, why don't you give them the information on the website and stuff?
Yeah. The URL for the AHA website is homebrewersassociation.org. For the event, Homebrew Con, it's homebrew.con.org. But yeah, we've got a ton of information on for people just getting started in homebrewing, as well as for anybody, any range of experience in homebrewing.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, we just gave away a membership to the AHA, but it's really reasonable. And if you get the membership to the AHA, basically you get 6 copies of Zymergy delivered to your door, which is way cool, and recipes and all kinds of stuff. But you can get online access to all the past stuff for many years.
Yeah, all the past issues going back to the January-February issue from 2000.
That's a long 18 years worth.
18 years of
and
the
then
Zymergy magazine.
You get early tickets for like GABF, for Homebrew Con, for there's something else in there too. But there's rallies and there's and
member discounts.
Member discounts around the country. You can get discounts at bars and breweries. If you couldn't make everything at Homebrew Con because there's too many and I can't see it all, you can go watch the video and content from here.
Right, that's right.
Which is awesome.
So yeah, we have over 60 seminars going on this year. Now all of them are being video recorded. We want to make sure that's accessible to everybody who's a member of the American Homebrewers Association. So it'll probably be a couple of weeks before we get all that edited, but we'll put it up on the website as members-only content. So we've got, I think, going back to the 2011 conference, we've got at least the audio recordings.
Man, that's awesome.
The last 2 years we've gone to video recordings. So, but yeah, I mean, it's amazing content. Because even if you're here at the conference, you can't get to all of it. So. But you can still access all of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I want to say thank you for coming on, Beer Ambassadors, hanging out with me, and drinking beer.
Yeah.
So
always a pleasure.
I appreciate it, Gary. So until next time, my friends, drink good beer, eat good food, hang out with good people like Gary, and drink more good beer. Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.